Welcome back to my page. My name is Brittany, and welcome to the episode 2 breakdown. I'll be breaking down this video frame by frame for all the Easter eggs and hidden details in this episode. I will be covering Route A and B from the game for the majority of this video, so if you want to play the game and have a fresh experience, I would advise not watching my videos. And at the end, I'll go over some major spoilers and more references from endings C through E. We begin this episode with a dialogue from the Council of Humanity. This was more of a morale boost for the androids. The next story that is being told is called a picture book in the game. Now, these are played in the game during Route B when you're playing as 9S. Also, this specific picture book is not shown in the game until 2B and 9S have returned to Earth and are entering the desert area. Currently in the anime, they're still in the bunker. These scenes replace some of the cutscenes that you already played through in Route A as 2B. These scenes I think were meant to show more of the machine's perspective. Yoko Taro is great at making you feel sympathy for what could be interpreted as the enemy from one point of view. What is interesting is that in the anime, these picture books, the dialogue is voiced by what sounds like a child.
Fury, shame, desolation, the future, the meaning of life.
In the game, it's 9S who is speaking.
Fury, shame, desolation, the future, the meaning of life.
My guess is that it may be a future voice actress for the Red Girl. In the game, you only hear a male voice for the Red Girls, or as they're also known as, Alpha and Beta. So who knows? We'll have to wait and see if they give her a female voice. The next scene is all brand new footage for the anime. You see a machine wake up, and then on its screen there are these letters that seem to be trying to form words. The background music is from The City of Ruins, Ray of Lights, which is a great soundtrack. I'll post a link in my description for the music. This whole scene is just that machine walking around exploring, at least that's what it seems like it's doing. The whole scene is up for interpretation, and eventually it has more machines that follow it back to the factory and they begin to receive repairs. And right here is where I feel like it is just going through, I guess, a burnout of sorts, and has the feeling of contemplating life in general and wanting more of a purpose. I feel like most of us can relate to this scene in a way. We've all gone through something like this in one way or another. Then it eventually comes across a book that fell from another machine, and the bookmark that falls out of it is the famous lunar tear. This next dialogue from a picture book is not in the game. I checked multiple times, went back, replayed them all, and checked the intel menu, and it says I unlocked 100%. So 99.9% sure this is a brand new picture book scene. So let's go ahead and take a listen to it.
Its guise was visible. Its shape was visible. However, its soul was not visible, which mystified the machines due to an inability to see the soul. At the same time, the joy of learning about these kinds of things fulfilled the machines.
That dialogue, it talks about being mystified, which means puzzled or confused. So this dialogue explains more on the being able to physically see material world things, such as their sizes, their shapes of each other, but they were confused on if they had a soul or even a meaning. But they're able to move on from such confusion on understanding the soul because they have now found a meaning in researching how the humans once lived. At least, that's how I interpret this dialogue. Love to know your thoughts on this. Now, you could tell in this next set of words, the machine is learning how to form words, but it isn't quite there yet. It then switches to a bunch of scenes from The Man on the Moon, some westerns, romance movies, and then it shows a bunch of TVs stacked on top of each other playing different kinds of programs. News, probably TV shows, movies, etc. This tower of TVs can actually be found in the amusement park ruins underground. This is where that side quest is in Route B, where the machine is trying to become a game developer. And you can see at the top of the tower, our little machine friend is trying to learn all that he can about humans. The machine no longer cares to fight the androids, but it does come across a lunar tear. And the next set of words that appear on the screen they seem to now be in full sentences, telling me that the machine is learning how to speak like a human. It is excited because it found the same flower that is on his bookmark. But unfortunately, he did not treat the flower with care, and it died as soon as he picked it up. A warning screen pops up on his screen, and it says, Detected Emotion Matrix. It must be some programming to understand emotions, because now the machine's eyes have changed from a red to a yellow. In the game, you could tell between a friendly machine that's off of the network versus ones that are still programmed to fight by their eyes. With that eye color transition and the rain, it makes it look like the machine is crying. Which, yet again, Yoko Taro is coming in, making us feel for these characters, who originally show up as the enemy, but I'm almost certain that people at this point have started to question if the machines are the enemy. The majority of the next scene is machines trying to learn how to grow the flowers, and for those of you who have played NieR Replicant will know, trying to grow those lunar tears, ugh, I hated doing that part in the game. I feel for you, buddy. I feel for you. Eventually, it makes more friends off the network, and they have now got a little clan going to try to grow more flowers in the city ruins. I think this is super cute. And then the scene switch overs to the members of the Resistance, and it looks like they're trying to find more resources. We even get a glimpse early on of Devila and Popola. Now, in the game, the twins you could see in the background of the Resistance camp, but you do not communicate with them until 2B is searching for 9S towards the end of Route A. Looking at the Resistance, they're all sharing stories of hope because of the Council of Humanity, and then there are some members who don't hold on to too much hope. Which then leads us to our new character, Lily. Lily is a character who was mentioned in the game, but only in documents that you find about the Pearl Harbor Descent mission. Now, to give you a brief story on Lily, she was a part of the Resistance that worked with A2 during the 14th Machine War. It looks like in the anime she will be taking the place of Anemone.
Okay, don't hurt yourself.
Anemone. After reading the Pearl Harbor Descent and learning hers and Anemone's backstory, it is very interesting and a twist for the anime. If you never read the manga or didn't know it existed, its first 2 volumes are out in the US, and the last volume comes out in 2024. There's also a novel version of this in a short story long. I'll put the links in the description for those books. I highly recommend them. What we see in this episode is she points out after centuries of fighting, she's done with the words and the morale boost that the council tries to send them. What they need are weapons, and she's also questioning the future and how long they will have to keep fighting. She shows from the very beginning that she doesn't have faith in the council. Her team addresses her with formalities such as ma'am or leader, but just like 2B, she tells her team that they can drop the formalities. I had some feels kick in for this next scene. You see the little machines just watering their flowers, minding their own business, when a horde of red-eyed machines come walking down and the music becomes a darker tune. And all of a sudden you just hear the little machine say, "Big brother, big brother." It did throw me off seeing the loading screen out of the game. I had a split-second feeling where I felt like I needed to be grabbing my controller and get ready to play. But it jumped straight back to the bunker where 9S is helping 2B do maintenance. I had a little giggle at the fact that they chose the third option in the game, where 2B tells 9S that his voice puts her at ease. This is the same dialogue from the game that you can choose from. This next part is also going to be similar dialogue, because the commander is just giving them their orders to do a recon and to meet up with the Resistance. Only slight difference is that they should go straight to the desert. In the game, you don't learn that until you've met up with the Resistance. What I thought was interesting was the commander is showing some concern for 9S and 2B, which, as a viewer, you begin to question, like, what does she know? It's just a recon mission. What do they need to be careful of? Now, jumping back on Earth, we're with the Resistance again and they're gathering supplies. Devil and Popola are struggling with some of the crates and they drop them. The Resistant members are showing some disdain towards the twins. Then all of a sudden you hear screaming, and those of you who played the game will know that screaming. It's those stupid machine bombs. These guys were so annoying to deal with in the game, but the Resistance is now just in a retreat, trying to run away from the horde of machines that are coming after them. We cut back to a bunch of flowers being destroyed, and then the scene pans to show the destroyed machines, and one of them is stating, "Big brother, big brother," before he dies, and man, I had some feels. The next picture book is playing. It is the same one as the game where they're talking about how the machines came across items they call treasures. Treasures had different shapes, and then it shows the machines growing their plants, and they look like they're having so much fun. So yet again, Yoko Taro is making you feel something for the machines because you see they're just trying to enjoy their treasure. Normally in the game, this dialogue is unlocked when you first go visit the amusement park ruins. But as you can see in this anime, they haven't gotten to there yet. Now we're back to the Resistance, and they're trying to fight off the horde of machines coming after them. They're losing their teammates, and they don't have any reinforcements that will come in time. They can't depend on the council because they haven't helped for centuries at this point. They're now going to try to draw them to a bridge and try to blow up that bridge with them on it. There's one machine that they notice is that it's acting weird compared to the rest of the horde. And guess what? It's our little friend who's just trying to grow his flowers. He is now watching all his flowers get destroyed by this horde. They try to set off the bomb, but something goes wrong, and the leader continues to try to make her stance, to do what she can. It's realistically hopeless, but she won't go down without a fight. Then all of a sudden, 2B and 9S arrive just in time to destroy the bridge with all the machines, including, sadly, our little flower growing friend. The music changes to a sadder song, and he finds the lunar tear. In his last moments, his eyes turn green, and he falls down that cliff. And you just feel for him. When 2B makes an appearance, Lily has the same reaction that Anemone has in the game, where she's shocked to see who is in front of her, and you hear her say number 2. But Lily quickly comes to her senses and realizes it's not who she thinks it is. A quick battle happens because one of the surviving machines attacks Lily. The pod makes quick work of her, and Lily gets healed by Devila and Popola. 9S is told that they are maintenance units that are permanently assigned to the Resistance. The Resistance members are so excited to see the YoRHa units, and they think that the council has answered the requests for help. 9S and 2B have a silent understanding to keep quiet about that fact. They weren't summoned to help the Resistance, and also Lily is hesitant to believe that the council sent help. And this is also due from her experience with getting help from the council. The next picture book is playing, and it is about killing the father and the mother. This scene I feel like made more sense in the game because it was played after the aliens were shown dead. So you can guess who the mother and the father would be, but the anime chose to play it early. So from a fresh eye viewer, you question who the mother and father is and who killed them. Was it the machines? I'm going to assume it was the machines. And then we come to our final scene, which foreshadows the next huge event in this series. It shows an underground desert area, and more of the machines are trying to learn from humans by reading more of their books. And when the scene pans up, you'll see some sort of hive looking thing. Those of you who have played the game know that it's a hive that gave birth to Adam and Eve. Now, for this next part, I want to kind of backtrack a little bit to early on in this episode. And what I want to discuss is why the bunker is gray. Now, for those of you who have never completed the entire game of NieR Automata, I'm going to let you know I am going to be jumping into some spoilers here. So if you haven't gotten to ending E, I would go ahead and recommend that you stop watching this video now and go and play the game. Enjoy it. You'll love it. But if you stuck around, let's jump into why the bunker is gray. And yes, there is surprisingly, or not surprising, a reason for this. You think Yoko Taro wouldn't have a reason for this? Think again. In a video called NieR Automata Dinner Talk, which I'll link in the description, the bunker is grayscaled as a metaphor, and that place is the place that is already a lifeless world. It's depicting the visage of a place that from the start is already scheduled to cease to exist. You know, due to the fact that YoRHa soldiers were going to be eventually destroyed. I thought this was an interesting creative choice because gray means there is no life. And when they're down on Earth, it's full of color because the world is alive. There's plants, there's animals, it's full of life. But with that, I've now covered everything with episode 2. Would love to know your thoughts on this episode and the direction that the anime is taking versus the game. Until next time, guys, see you around.